Hello, and welcome back to RPZ. This is DM Advice, and for this session of DM Advice, I will be discussing power scaling and the general idea of difficulty class. And I'm just gonna get this out of the gate right at the start. It's stupid. Difficulty class is the dumbest thing in the world. To get the normal arguments of difficulty class, people say that difficulty classes is the amount of difficulty that a creature is, and how many creatures it takes to make that up. So, if you take like a kobold that is difficulty of like an eighth, and then a dragon which is 15, that means that quick maths here. That is 8 times 15, whatever that is, amount of kobolds that it would take to make up one dragon. But this is simply not true. As something that something else that you could find is that generic human, if you just find a generic human NPC out in the wild that has no training, they are a difficulty class of 1. Even a trained kobold is weaker than a human. So that means that if I was to go outside, knock on any random stranger's door, uh, tell them, hey, there's a dragon, I need some guys, and then I got a total of 15 guys, and they all had knives, and we were all going up to shank the dragon, it would die. Or at least we'd all be on equal footing and we both die. By extent, this also means that trained people, as shown in the player's handbook, well, sorry, in monster guides, trained humans are a difficulty class of 2, and people that are really good at what they do are difficulty class of 3. Meaning that if I got 5 guys, just 5 guys that were really good at their job, we could all go and kill an adult dragon. And the funny thing is that if you look at a party, a level 1 party at the start of a game, they can beat those 5 trained guys. But there's no way in hell that they're killing a dragon. And this is where difficulty class is stupid. Because difficulty class is not a scale of what monsters there are, it's quite literally what it says, it's difficulty. Which brings up a interesting point of why are there stats for monsters in general if you're going to have a difficulty for how difficult the creature should be? It's like if I were to be like in a video game, we've got easy mode, normal mode, and hard mode. And if I pick hard mode, it makes it so that way generic enemies are as strong as the final boss. That doesn't seem right. And that's because it isn't. The the strength of an enemy, as shown in the strength of the enemy should really just determine how difficult an encounter should be, and the stats just indicate what a round they'd expect for a leveled party around the same level to be at. So, if we have a dragon that is strength of 15, That means that the stats there are averaged out for players that are around level 15. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't put the dragon earlier in the campaign. Hell, in the Rise of Tiamat, there is the possibility of finding a dragon at the start of the town. And for situations such as that, you don't use the stat block. Never use the stat block. As a DM, you should make encounters, every single one, beatable. The difficulty class should only determine how hard an encounter is. So, taking the stat block of a dragon and say that you were using it for a level 1 party, you might be like, let me think of how a dragon would behave. How strong is a dragon, and how could a party such as this win? Because at the end of the day, the party aren't normal people. It is basically stated in the handbook of the game that you are a special hero. And unless the campaign that you're running is specifically stating that you are not special people, you are a special person. You have special powers. You have special abilities. You can do this. You can do that. It means that in the encounter against a dragon, where normal people might struggle, the party might have an easier time with. And that's not to say that you should make it so that way every encounter is easy and the party is unkillable. No, not at all. Kill all of the party members. Don't be afraid to do that. But what it does mean is that if you have an encounter with a dragon, an adult dragon at level 1, because it's story based, and that dragon normally has like an AC of 19 and an HP of 230 or so, you reduce that. You make the AC like 16 and have the HP be like 130. Have the damage that it does be scaled down to the HP of the party, so that way it does massive damage but doesn't kill them. There you have a boss. There you have a good encounter. There you have something that you can do for a good story. Otherwise, you will just have unbeatable encounters where the party can't do anything about it. And unless the party uses player knowledge, you will literally be feeding the players straight into their deaths. So, difficulty class, 4 enemies. Use them as a guide. Use the stat block as a guide. Something that I have learned from playing D&D: don't follow the book. Like, look at the book, you read the book, you read it again, and you read it again, and then you burn it. You burn the book. You burn all the books. Burn them all. Because you see, the books are nothing more than a guide. They show you the basic rules of the game and how a campaign should be run. But when it comes to especially monsters and mechanics of the game, you never listen to the book because the book is completely unbalanced. The book does not take into account story writing of specific people and the actions of players. And because of that, it ends up into a hot mess. So, for things such as difficulty class, either you ignore it or change the stat blocks. Just do it. It won't hurt the game. It will only help. Because believe it or not, people don't like characters that they put their time and effort into to just disappear. This has been my DM advice and my input. So until next time, ta ta.